In Marvel's multiverse, battles are not limited to simple hero versus villain encounters. Sometimes, the most terrifying fight is when a hero must face their own reflection, a corrupted version of themselves stripped of humanity. That is exactly what we see in the case of Scarlet Witch vs. Zombie Wanda. Scarlet Witch, also known as Wanda Maximoff, is a character who embodies both unimaginable power and deep tragedy. She has shaped worlds, rewritten reality, and fought cosmic threats. Her magic is rooted in chaos energy, making her one of the most unpredictable and dangerous beings alive. But what happens when this same power is unleashed without morality or reason? That is where Zombie Wanda enters the picture. Zombie Wanda, born in the Marvel Zombies universe, is Wanda Maximoff infected by a strange virus. Unlike traditional zombies, she does not lose her abilities. She retains her chaos magic, her telekinesis, her energy blasts, and her devastating potential. The only difference is that she is no longer guided by conscience or compassion. She is driven only by hunger. Imagine Scarlet Witch's destructive powers without limits, without strategy, without hesitation. That is the nightmare of Zombie Wanda. This ultimate battle is not just physical, it is philosophical. On one side stands Scarlet Witch, a figure of grief, love, and determination. On the other side, Zombie Wanda, an echo of that same power but consumed entirely by instinct. The fight between them is a clash between reason and madness, survival and corruption, purpose and chaos. Today, we will break down their powers, analyze their strengths, and paint the picture of what this catastrophic confrontation would look like, before declaring once and for all who would emerge victorious. The power of Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is one of the most formidable beings in Marvel history. Her strength does not lie in brute force alone, it lies in her ability to reshape the very laws of existence. From her earliest days, Wanda showed signs of being a mutant touched by chaos magic. Over time, her potential grew until she was recognized as an Omega-level powerhouse. In the comics, Wanda's feats are legendary. During the House of M storyline, she altered all of reality, creating an entirely new world with her words. And with one sentence, "No more mutants," she erased the powers of nearly 1 million mutants across the planet. This single act demonstrates the scale of her abilities. Wanda can rewrite the fundamental nature of life itself. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Wanda's rise is equally staggering. In Avengers: Endgame, she confronted Thanos, the Mad Titan himself. Within moments, she nearly tore him apart. Thanos, who had previously faced the combined might of the Avengers, admitted he could not defeat her directly. He was forced to call down an airstrike on his own army just to escape her fury. That is the raw destructive potential of Scarlet Witch. Her power only grew further in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. With the Darkhold amplifying her magic, she learned dreamwalking, a forbidden technique that let her control alternate versions of herself across universes. She annihilated the Illuminati, a group of some of the most powerful beings in their reality, including Professor X and Captain Marvel. She stormed the fortress of Camartage and destroyed armies of sorcerers. Her chaos magic, her runes, and her reality-warping abilities made her nearly unstoppable. What truly separates Scarlet Witch from her zombie counterpart is her consciousness. Wanda fights with purpose. Her emotions, whether it is grief for her lost children or love for her family, drive her decisions. She has intelligence, experience, and the ability to strategize. She does not simply attack blindly, she calculates, she manipulates, and she executes with precision. Her humanity gives her both vulnerability and strength. The power of Zombie Wanda. Zombie Wanda is perhaps one of the most terrifying creations in the Marvel Zombies universe. Imagine all of Wanda's powers, the chaos magic, the reality warping, the raw destructive capability, but stripped of empathy and sanity. That is what Zombie Wanda represents. Infected by the zombie virus, she loses her moral compass. She is no longer Wanda Maximoff the Avenger or Wanda the grieving mother. She becomes a force of hunger, her mind consumed by the primal instinct to feed. Yet, her powers remain intact. Unlike most zombies, she retains her chaos magic in its full capacity. She can still blast energy, warp reality, control minds, and crush armies. This makes her far more dangerous than a regular zombie. Survivors in the Marvel Zombies universe often describe her as unstoppable. She has devoured both civilians and superheroes. The terrifying part is that she does not hesitate. Where Scarlet Witch might hold back to protect innocence or to avoid crossing a line, Zombie Wanda has no such restraint. Her magic is unleashed recklessly, destroying everything in sight. One could argue that this recklessness gives her an edge. There is no hesitation, no fear, no morality. But it is also her greatest weakness. Because without strategy, her attacks are wild, her destruction is unfocused. She becomes a blunt instrument of chaos rather than a sharp blade of precision. Another critical weakness lies in her very nature. She is undead. Her body decays. Her flesh rots. Even if her magic remains strong, her vessel is weaker than the living Scarlet Witch. She cannot heal or recover as effectively. Over time, this decay would make her slower, more fragile, and ultimately vulnerable to a calculated opponent. When the two collide. Now imagine the battlefield when Scarlet Witch faces Zombie Wanda. The world around them would be torn apart within minutes. Buildings would crumble, skies would twist, and reality itself would bend under the clash of their chaos magic. At the start, Zombie Wanda would likely dominate with sheer ferocity. Her attacks would come fast and without pause, magical blasts ripping apart the landscape, telekinetic waves hurling debris, and reality distortions causing unpredictable chaos. Scarlet Witch would be forced on the defensive, dodging and countering as best she could. Zombie Wanda's unpredictability is her greatest weapon. Unlike a trained sorcerer, her movements are primal. She does not follow a pattern, and that randomness could catch Scarlet Witch off guard. For a moment, it might even seem like Scarlet Witch is losing ground. But battles are not won in moments, they are won through endurance, strategy, and control. Scarlet Witch, with her conscious mind, would begin to adapt. She would notice the flaws in Zombie Wanda's style, the decaying body that limits agility, the hunger-driven attacks that lack precision, the lack of defense in her reckless aggression. Scarlet Witch could use illusions to confuse her undead counterpart, traps to redirect her chaotic blasts, and reality warping to weaken her structurally unstable body. Where Zombie Wanda fights like a storm, Scarlet Witch fights like a tactician. She would lure her zombie version into situations where strategy triumphs over rage. The battlefield would likely escalate to apocalyptic levels. Cities might collapse, skies might burn, and universes could ripple from their clash. Yet in the end, the one with focus, intelligence, and emotional drive has the edge. Final result. So, who is truly stronger, Scarlet Witch or Zombie Wanda? Zombie Wanda is horrifying. She embodies raw chaos without conscience, a monster that uses godlike powers without care for life or destruction. Against ordinary heroes, she would be unstoppable. She could devastate entire teams, consume civilizations, and leave nothing but ruins. But Scarlet Witch is more than raw power. She is control. She is intelligence. She is purpose. Wanda has shown the ability to alter reality with a thought, to eliminate millions with a whisper, and to bring cosmic beings to their knees. She does not simply wield chaos, she commands it. While Zombie Wanda may start the battle with terrifying aggression, Scarlet Witch would finish it with calculated precision. Her conscious mind, her emotional strength, and her mastery over chaos magic would ultimately overwhelm her undead counterpart. Therefore, the answer is clear, Scarlet Witch is truly stronger. Zombie Wanda is destructive, terrifying, and relentless, but Scarlet Witch's focus and intelligence make her the definitive winner of this battle. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.